Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Donut Shop podcast. Today, I have two guests in the Donut Shop. I have Preston Woodrum and Robert Cole. Preston's a law enforcement officer in Virginia, and Robert is a business owner, owns a training company, among many fields that they dabble in. But mostly, Preston is here to talk about Battle of the Badges. It's a national shooting competition that challenges officers in realistic, high-pressure stages while building community, camaraderie, and skill. We're going to dig into the origin of that competition, how Robert became involved in it, and then like how they blend the competition with training and why they believe that pushing officers, that it's good to push officers beyond the norm. So here we are, and let's get into it. So what's up, guys, and welcome.
And just to clarify, director of training, I'm not the business owner. Just work
okay.
teamwork.
Director of training, but the real boss.
Long story. We'll get into that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Well, so Preston, so I did say you're a sheriff's deputy up in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about your background, like before we really get into this competition and stuff.
Yeah, so I guess I got into law enforcement. I just turned 20 when I got hired at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office in Virginia. It's like southwest of the state. I got hired when I was 20. I went to the academy, and then actually I graduated the academy about 20 and a half or so. And so I got an FTO, had to stay on FTO longer until actually I was 21, because you had to be 21 to actually be out by yourself. So got out by myself, worked patrol I've been on patrol the whole time, worked night shift for about 6 years until this past year. I just got promoted to sergeant, which still on patrol. So I'm currently patrol sergeant, night shift. Probably about 2 to 3 years in my career, joined our part-time SWAT team, where after I was on the team for 3 years or so, I became the assistant team leader, and then in the past year, I just became the team leader as well. And then I am also second in charge, if that's what you want to call it, of our firearms program as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So a lot of responsibilities. Montgomery County, I feel like I've heard of Montgomery County before, but like where
So the
in relation to a major city?
Yeah, so our biggest city around us would be Roanoke. It's like 40 miles north. But the easiest way to explain where we're from, Virginia Tech Hokies, the college, where the mass shooting happened.
Right.
We are the county that surrounds the campus. So there's the campus, which has their own police, and then there's the town of Blacksburg, which surrounds the campus directly. Then we surround that town. So that's easiest about like putting us on the map. That's the easiest way I found to explain it.
Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, it makes sense. So Midnight's pretty much one of the best places to work in law enforcement, because you can avoid most of the bosses working during the day, and you can have a good time, and then still be able to come back to days and do some training and work with the SWAT team.
Night shift
trainings.
Yeah, night shift. It's by far, I mean, I've done it since I started, so I don't really know daylight. I've helped cover a couple of shifts here and there. This couple of shifts here and there has taught me that night shift is probably where I belong. But I like it. Like you said, it's me, my lieutenant, and the people under me. I don't like to say under me, but the deputies that work on my shift. And that is it. Only people in the whole entire office, so we can come in, kind of say what we want and act a certain way and go out and get into, dope, DUIs, whatever it might be, and not really have to deal with anything else besides calls for service. So I personally really, really love and enjoy night shift too. Like, nights are slow. We have a gym inside our office as well, so we can hit the gym in the middle of the night if things are slower than usual as well. So
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot easier to have good camaraderie on midnights. I mean, I know with ours, our guys, they'll get together a lot more, hang out, if you're allowed to smoke some cigars or whatever, and just rap, talk, hang out. I know when I worked midnights at the beginning of my career, we used to hang out and just, we just look at each other. There'd be like 5 of us together, and we just be like, all right, who's going to that alarm? There's an alarm at the mall. All right, you want to go with me? It may not even be our zone, but we'll just like, hey, we'll just run out and we'll take care of the alarm. Let this guy relax or decompress, or if he's got his vest off or something like that, like, hey man, don't throw it back on. We'll go take care of it. It's easier to, and then the other thing was I just used to love that it was easier to move around, less traffic, less
Oh.
less dealing with people out on the road. So it's like if you needed to get somewhere, you could get somewhere pretty expedited. And whereas when me working on day shift right now, it's like, look, I'll get there when I get there, bro. Like he's got a middle school fight at a Burger King, and like if I put it in the GPS, it's like 26 minutes. It's not going to take me that, but it's like, this is the recommended amount of time that it's going to take me in traffic. And it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah. And night shift, it'd be 10.
Yeah.
Minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If not 5.5.
Yeah. Yeah. The lack of traffic at night is great. And the camaraderie aspect is huge. Because when I got promoted in January, I just got moved over to the opposite night shift. And for the first 6 years, I was on the same shift with some of the same people still. So the
Yeah.
camaraderie aspect was really, really, really big. Like you said, we'd hang out all the time. We would take trips once a year to a place called Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I don't know.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
We would
Gatlinburg.
yeah. So we'd work off. We'd go to work Thursday night. We'd get off Friday morning, stay up, drive down there, get a cabin or stay in hotels on the strip. Have a good time Friday night, have a good time Saturday night, and then get up feeling 100% and drive back home Sunday morning. So yeah, it was a great time. And this side's the same. It's just I've only been here for 10 months, 9 months now, so just still trying to get used to the personalities and get to know each other on that higher level. So it's great.
Yeah.
Like you said, rural area for us. So deer 1050 comes out, deer crash comes out, and somebody's up in the gym or they're down a report or two, like vest off, you just stay right there. Like we'll go knock this out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then like you were saying, the other thing is like, I know our midnight guys will, they'll do barbecues, they'll do, essentially like a squad party or a shift party. Not a party, but like just a relaxation thing where the lieutenant will just say, hey, this guy's going to do a little bit of a cookout. And that we can't do that on day shift. Like we're just too busy. There's too much going on. There's too many eyes, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we've definitely brought some grills out to the office and put them out in the parking lot and grilled out some burgers or some steaks or whatever meat that you buy to bring. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So see, I know how it goes.
Yeah.
So
it's football season, so Saturday, Sunday nights, Monday nights,
Yeah.
That's watch a little bit of the game. So
yeah. We had that was fun. When I worked midnights at the beginning, it was when we first got Netflix first kind of came around, and so we had a TV that could get streaming and stuff like that, and so we'd just be nice and safe and watching Netflix and going to calls, dispatching from there. So it's good. It's good time.
That's right.
All right, Robert, you're not just going to sit around this whole time. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Director of Training.
Yeah. So Director of Training, fairly new title. It's been, I guess, a year and a half now that I've been the director for Team One Network. My background, I was in the Marine Corps, active duty for just shy of 10 years. On the infantry side of the house, I was fortunate enough, right timing, right place, kind of a thing where I fell into a lot of different training roles. First, I was up in Washington State training all the new joins, guarding strategic assets up there, a little security force life. I was with 1st Battalion, 5th Marines for about 5 years in the middle, where I did real Marine stuff and actually deployed and did all the right things. And then I ended my time on Quantico as the assistant operations chief for the Regimental 3 shop at the basic school, training new lieutenants and stuff.
Cool.
I got out of the military, got out of the industry, out of the world, out of everything, moved back to Oregon with my new wife, and then got a phone call. Hey, we could use you at Team 1 to come back, and started off as the training coordinator. That was in, I think, 2017-ish, right? Yeah, it was 2017, 2018, right in there. Started the job, and then moved back out to Virginia for the job, and been here ever since. Yeah, it's an interesting transition from the Team 1 Network. We're a military and law enforcement training company. And so translating the difference between the military and law enforcement, like hearing you guys talk about the night shift squad, the boys hanging out, having a good time, messing around, like it's the exact same thing in the military, just
Right.
less shift work. It was more just 24/7, just around the same guys all the time.
Yeah. You just spend all the time either in the barracks or in the office or that kind of thing. Like on base together and stuff. Yeah, it's. I mean, I know my zone partner that I work with every day is he's a Marine, and it's always just fun stories from him. Stuff that he did and everything like that. So. Love hanging out with the Marines at work and stuff, and a bunch of those guys. So you were telling me earlier today on the phone, when you guys do with what Team 1 does with training, you're is it disrespectful to say kind of a subcontractor to some of these larger companies, like you said, Benelli and stuff like that? You offer training for that company. You do the work out in the field for them, teaching that,
sort
right?
of. So to better explain it or to put it into context, I'll give you the history of the company.
Sure.
So started back in 2003 by a gentleman named John T. Meyer Jr. John, at the time when he started Team 1 Network, he had just got let go from H&K, where he was the VP of International Training and Sales. So John was back in that day, and this is, again, 90s into the very, very early 2000s. H&K International Training Division was like the premier place to go for training at the time. MP5s were at the height of their era back then. I don't know how long you've been in law enforcement, if you were around back then or probably getting in around that time.
No, we totally had MP5s at the beginning of my career. I mean, even in early 2000s, our SWAT team was rocking MP5s.
So that was under John at HK. Then John and HK split ways, and he said, hey, as opposed to having this training division that's beholden, if you will, to a single manufacturer, HK, why don't we be kind of that turnkey company for a lot of these different manufacturers in the industry to go do training on their behalf? With that, our number one goal is officer survival. That's the forefront of our minds. Every course that we develop, everything that we're out there doing is for a reason, and that's to equip police officers to go home safe at the end of the day. So we have our own standalone classes that aren't necessarily tied to any manufacturers, but yes, so one of the big things that we do is armor training as well. So different gun manufacturers basically outsource us to go do training on their behalf. With that, we do different like breaching classes, shield classes, different equipment that's out there. And that's our training division that I work for. We also have a manufacturer's rep group that does emergency vehicle not upfitting, but equipment, canine transports, bent aluminum, push bumpers, light systems, stuff like that. And that's our public safety division. And cool. So that's kind of what the company is. We're all over the country. We do a lot down by you in Florida, actually, West Palm, having us for Battle of the Badges as well. That's, again, a long time relationship between Team 1 and the sheriff's office down there that we've been training at their department. We have big following up in Jersey, throughout the Midwest, and pretty sure we've touched all 50 states at this point.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds efficient. To be able to, offer all that and work with all these other companies and spread their message and that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. So let's take a quick, or let me drop one of these little commercials in here, and then we'll get back and kind of talk about what you guys do with Battle of the Badges and Preston, where it sort of came from in the genesis of it. Yo, what's up, guys? I want to do a follow-up. I used to run an ad or commercial for my friends at HPTRT, Human Performance, talking about like testosterone therapy or all that kind of stuff. I finally have been, I've been using it. I've been, a member of the program for over 6 months now. I got my second round of labs, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. When I first was tested, I was at 330. I'm a 43-year-old man, and my test was at 330. I didn't even go through the injections. I'm going through a couple different types of prescription pills that they have to help me out, all legal, all on the up and up. But after this 6 months, my test has gone up to 910. As somebody who works out 3 to 4 times a week, wants to stay young, wants to stay healthy with all this stuff. It's helped with all kinds of stuff, like my focus, continuing to give me like the best sleep that I've ever gotten. I've enjoyed it. So go over to hp-trt.com and check it out. You can bring, if you've had lab work within the last 6 months, you can bring your own lab work and they'll start you up. If you haven't, then you pay for the lab work through them. Or you can just go to your own doctor and do your lab work through your normal insurance, which I'm sure has a zero copay, if anything. And use the code DSP20, and that'll get you 20% off forever, as long as you're a member, as long as you use Human Performance. So it's a great program, good people over there. So go ahead and get it done. And if you've been thinking about it, or if you've looked at recent tests in your testosterone and you want a boost of that kind of stuff, get into it, because you can also get the testosterone through them as well as peptides and other things. So DSP20 will get you 20% off. Good luck. Hey, what's up, guys? Want to talk to you about Tasty Gains. They're a sponsor of Counterculture Inc. We love them, been using them, and I enjoy it. It's a little gummy. It's got like 1 gram of creatine in there, so you take 3 a day, knock it out. It's making a difference, and it gives me a little bit of sweetness too during the day. I can keep them right in my backpack in my car at work, and they don't melt. You can see this is the mango pineapple. It's my favorite flavor, but check it out. Use code Counterculture to get 20% off on Tasty Gains. So check out Tasty Gains. They're great. So get your swole on. All right, we're back. Yeah, so Preston, one of the thing, kind of the main thing that I have you on here, both you guys on here for, is to talk about Battle of the Badges and sort of what it is and where did it come from?
Yeah, so Battle of the Badges, I guess, like, to get the full history behind the whole thing. My dad started shooting mainly just like pistol work, handgun stuff competitively when I was like 12, 13 years old. So I then was like, Dad, like, let me come and do it. And he's like, well, you just come watch a couple of them, see what you think. So that happened. He then went and bought me a Smith & Wesson SD9VE, cheaper side handgun, probably, I would say, as far as like still reliable, still good, but it wasn't like the M&P or whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, so I started shooting competitively with him when I was about 14 at this point. And the whole time I was doing it, I was like, why is there no cops out here shooting competitively? This is a great training opportunity. This is awesome. There was actually 2 cops that they're the only 2. They came pretty much every match that I was at. They were there. They were the only 2, and none others ever showed up. So was like, that's super strange. I was like, this is fantastic. It's a ton of fun, great training opportunity. So, and then I became a cop, and I quickly realized that in the most respectful way that I can put it, I believe that most cops are pretty egotistic individuals.
Yeah.
And the way that I kind of figured was cops don't want to show up to these public matches, shooting competitions, and get absolutely smoked by some 55-year-old dude that has just been shooting.
Yeah.
Some like grandmaster
Has,
USPSA guy.
yeah, has a big pot belly and
Yeah.
gets winded, putting
Yeah.
up his targets,
Yeah. And
know.
just get absolutely destroyed. So I was like, okay, like tracking, Roger that. So in 2022, there was a club range that I'm a member at down here. I talked to the president of that club and was like, "Hey, they already do like just local matches once a month." I was like, "Can I do one match a year, or can we at least try this?" And it's just law enforcement only. And originally, I was like, "Hey, like I'll charge $20 so I can give the club something for the targets and the pasters and stuff." He was like, no, don't worry about it. Let's do it for free. I was like, okay, that's even more like incentive to come out. So I had my first one in 2022. It was December 3rd. It was about 40 degrees and piss and rain.
Oh,
I had 50 guys registered. 39 ended up showing up, which is perfectly fine.
it's not bad.
Not terrible. I had some like small like sponsorship stuff come in to do some giveaways, which I found that like that is a big driving force. Well, at least at first it was to get people to come out. Because I gave away, I think, 3 guns that year, 3 Glocks. We gave away 3 Glocks, like a plate carrier, some optics, stuff like that. So they
Yeah.
had the opportunity. You come out, you get one raffle ticket. Here you go. We gave T-shirts away and like little travel mugs, and that was a big driving force to get them out, to get them there. And what it is, it's 6 total stages. So they would be broken up 6 stages, so 6 total squads. They'll be broken up into even squads to be sent out. So if you're on, in squad 1, you start on stage 1 all the way down the list to 6. They'll shoot 3 stages. Once they get done shooting 3 stages, they'll all break for lunch. And lunch was provided to them. We did like some pork butts at the time, roasted some
Nice.
pork butts or
Yeah.
smoked them. I don't do any of that, so I don't know what the correct term is. So barbecue guys, I do apologize. We did pork butts, so that's kind of like the pushing the camaraderie aspect of it. So they all get
Yeah.
to sit down from all different agencies, talk and just chit chat, eat. Once they get done eating, they go back and they shoot their final 3 stages at the end. I did awards and then giveaways. So first year started out at 39, and then it grew the second year to 81. And when
Holy
it hit
crap.
yeah, so the second year was kind of when like I was like, man, like this is crazy, because the first year it was mainly just like local guys. So inside my county, so there's Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, the campus PD, and then 2 towns. It was mainly just guys from those 4 agencies and a couple gals. And then the second year of the 81, it was pretty much all over the state of Virginia. Then like North Carolina, Tennessee, a guy from Ohio. So I started to like hit other states. Like, wow, this is pretty cool.
How'd the word get out about it to spread?
Social media.
Okay. All right.
That's
Yeah.
it. Social media. And it's kind of a curse at the same time, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, social media was all I used to get it out there. And then year 3 came around, which is 2024. That's when Team One Network had reached out to me, discussing ideas on things to do. So I actually went up to the headquarters, right, Rob?
Yeah.
Before? Yeah, but I went up to the headquarters before just to talk. Like, they pretty much offered, like, hey, if we can help in any way, like, please let us know. So I went up there with like
Nice.
a list of stuff that I thought would be a big help. And one thing that I've tried to do every year, up until this point, was incorporate something fresh in something new that I didn't do the year before. And for example, like first year, it was mainly just like moving target stuff. Second year, I brought in vehicles for them to shoot from and into and all that good stuff. And then year 3 with Team One Network, one of my big things I asked for was they do a breaching class. So I was like, let me get up. Can I do a breaching door? So basically, how the stage would start on buzzer, you breach the door, inner door, then go out and shoot the designated targets, basically.
Yeah.
So I went up at like Mission Barbecue. I had them come out. Well, that was a part of Team One's sponsorship that year was Mission Barbecue. So in 2024, Team One Network was my title sponsor for the event, providing as much as what they did. It was absolutely incredible. And then after 2024, I came back up in 2024, right? Like October-ish.
Yeah.
November. We sat
Yeah,
down. Yeah, we sat down and made a game plan on basically how to take it all over the country. And that's where we are now. So Rob, from like y'all's side or y'all's point of view, that's kind of how it was from mine. If you want to go into like probably like y'all's point of view.
No, and for us, we caught wind of it in 22 on Preston's first year, watched it, saw it on social media, Instagram, shout out, even though they're not treating us well at the current moment, but Instagram. Then 2023, we wanted to come out and see it in person and just kind of do our due diligence with it. But we were, at that point in time, Team One was starting a 360 support initiative where we give out scholarships to anyone who submits scholarships to our company that, hey, if you have a good reason why you want to come out to some training, we support a lot of charities, Concerns of Police Survivors and First Help.
Oh, yeah.
And then also just trying to, again, give back to the community. Like we have dedicated our lives, our professions to supporting law enforcement. What are some other fun, unique kind of ways to give back to that world? So caught wind of the competition, saw it in 2022, 2023. We wanted to come out in person, didn't work out. We were doing an event the same weekend or the same time frame that was happening. Then talked to Preston 2024, like, hey, we want to be a part of it, just like he was saying. And we ended up title sponsoring it, and we were just super impressed, with Preston's idea, but the organic following that this competition had. It was usually like thinking of starting something like that, a large event, the hardest thing would be to get a lot of people to come out and sign up
participants. Yeah.
And whatever chord that Preston struck, his being genuinely Preston, good battering difference.
That's kind of scary, actually.
Had just a fantastic organic following. We loved the cause. The group of folks like Scott, Preston's dad, has been there since day one with Preston throughout all of this. He still is either match director or RO and stages for us during our competitions, helping with the stage planning and setup and everything. But after that 2024 event, and it went fantastically, we wanted to be more involved. And again, Preston had kind of mentioned to us that he wanted to take this on a larger scale than just a singular local match once a year. And we have a pretty good Rolodex of people to reach out to in the industry to kind of get some industry support, manufacturers, different companies getting behind the brand of Battle of the Badges. And again, we've been around long enough that getting the logo just right so it prints easy on shirts and coins and merchandising and how to market something like this. That's where we really kind of came into play. And at this point, it's still Preston's baby. It's his vision, and we're here to just try and lift that and bring it around. And again,
put some gasoline on it.
Exactly. In the first year, he would have gotten there eventually. We just accelerated everything.
No, that's cool. I mean, I know, because I've run some events in the past, like chaired like a golf tournament and stuff like that, and things like that are tough. You've got different volunteers or different employees or people that you have to coordinate with to run stuff, and then it's day of. It's final stages the night before or the couple days before, and then it's early morning getting it going, and then it's doesn't end, and it's putting out fires and making sure everything gets organized properly, and that the participants are taken care of too. So that's pretty cool. So when you do it, you're not, so like I'm not totally, I'll admit, I'm not 100% familiar with the competition shooting. What's the one, like the USPCA, I think it is, or
USPSA. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Letters.
Acronyms.
But yeah, I mean, I see, I have acronyms. So but I see a lot of videos now, and I've done a lot of, watching on YouTube and stuff. And I see guys running courses. Like we have a big range down here in South Florida and Homestead, where guys run competition type stuff a lot. And it's something that I've been looking into. Like I said, now that I'm getting retired, of course, it's a hobby that I might look into getting into. I should have been doing it the whole time while I was working. And I was telling Robert earlier on the phone, our department for the last few years has done an competition within our department, because we have an indoor range in our PD, and they would run a competition, and this one guy used to just destroy. He won like 3 years straight. He was just absurdly good, but it was not a public event. It was only people that you work with. So, but I see what you were saying at the beginning, where we're all probably not humble enough to want to get out there and just get schooled, or we're afraid we're going to look bad. Like we know when we go to block training, who those guys or girls are that just can't qualify, or have to go up a few times and try to requal and stuff. So I think that's it. Do you find, I mean, it sounds like you're doing pretty well with it, but do you think people could do better with joining in, or do you think they're still scared or nervous about it?
I think they're still scared. They're still nervous about it. I think that for me personally, like, there has been a super bad job in law enforcement, in my opinion, as far as like firearms programs. Like today, actually, I was on the range because we're doing fall qual, and there is this issue of like people are afraid to come to the range because in the past they have been screamed at by instructors that are
Right.
absolutely terrible. Number one. Number two, they don't demo anything that they're asking these students to do. So I think there's like a little just like nerves and like some bit of like
It's tension.
there's tension. Yeah, they're kind of afraid to get out there. And I'll say it. The Virginia event we had was 119, I think, come out
Wow.
somewhere in
something
there.
like
There's only my department has 132 sworn deputies, investigators, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
132 that carry a badge and gun. I had 4 from my department come out, and
Oh, wow.
the range is 15 minutes from our office. So I think the biggest issue is that hurdle of just like people are nervous and they're scared and they don't want to go out and embarrass themselves,
Mm-hmm.
which is not like it's not the vibes at all of like getting embarrassed or getting made fun of. If anything, it's a complete opposite. There was a lady on one of the videos that we just recently posted where um, it was either the latest one or one at the Virginia event where she's kind of like newer into shooting competitively. And she talks about how going out to them and telling everybody like, hey, this is my first one. And everybody from the other person that it's their first one to the top tier guy or gal is going to take you under their wing, explain to you how they're going to shoot this stage and give you every tip and pointer that they can. Like that is the environment is it's not making fun of people or embarrassing people. They are happy. Other people are happy to see you come out and try to better yourself. So I think the
Yeah.
biggest hurdle to really get over is just getting people past their own nerves and ego and just get them there. Then when they're there, they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like I should have been doing this a long time ago.
I've seen that in some of these videos, and then like you said on social media and stuff, where people have said that they've gone out, and once they break that barrier and they've gone out and they've seen or they've met these people or these, expert level type, guys and girls that are out there training. They just take them right under and they're just like, hey, maybe you need to switch this up. Maybe you need to, adjust your grip here, do this a little different. Whereas, like you said, we used to get yelled at on the range, and until it would be those times where they'd really slow you down and go, wait a minute, you're cross-eye dominant? No wonder it's not working for you, or whatever,
Yeah.
but we had those, sorry, Rob, old Marines that were our training officers, and then they feel like they're still in the Corps and they want to yell at us like we're in the foxhole, shooting, 100 meters, and stuff. And it's sometimes we're a different person out there. I go back to when my dad was teaching me how to drive stick shift on my first truck, and kept yelling at me why this thing kept rabbit jumping, and I couldn't get out of first gear. And I finally looked at him and I said, you do it. I want to watch you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched him and I go, you don't take your foot off the clutch. Now it makes complete sense. And it like literally picked it up like right after I watched him do it. But with his words, he was explaining it a little bit differently and making it sound like, we'll talk driving stick shift, take my foot almost all the way off the clutch, which was causing me to just jump in the car. And so when I watched him and there's that finesse between the two pedals, hey, all right, here we go. And now I can drive stick.
Yeah,
perfect.
That was the one thing, like we had one of those, sorry, Rob, Marine Corps guys that just like
we're just gonna
it's okay. I know how we are.
The course of fire, 2 rounds, 3 seconds, then this person raise his hand, how many rounds, what's the time, I told just getting after them. And it's like, dude, like it's like leadership, right? Like I'm kind of new to it, but one thing I've realized is I can't lead all the people on my shift the same way. Their personalities are different, just like the people come out to the range, right? All their personalities are different, and you gotta, either them already or you've seen them for the first time. There was somebody today I see them for the first time. You gotta have the skill to take 30 seconds, 60 seconds to do a full scan of what their personality is, and then teach to what their personality is. And I think that's one thing that a lot of instructors miss is teaching to the personality of their student. And demoing is so big, because my gosh, the amount of law enforcement schools that I've been to where they're like, okay, I need you to do this drill. They'll explain it. In my mind, I'm already like, all right, well, this is kind of cheesy, but whatever. Like, let's do it. They'll explain it. All right, first shooter come up, they'll do it, and completely chew them out for like the dumbest, littlest mistake. And I leave there, I'm like, yeah, I'd like to see that guy do it, because he would have probably done even worse. So.
Yeah, I just got I just got a Glock 43X myself, and added some stuff to it, and it's also the first time that I've ever shot with a red dot. I've never used a red dot before, so one of my buddies that I've known for the longest, he's one of our training officers now. He was like, Jay, bring it in, man. Like, let's put some rounds through it. Let's make sure your red dot's zeroed in for you. He kind of explained a little bit better than maybe YouTube could have for me about, the information on the optics and stuff. And then he brought in a couple of his guns. He brought in a Beretta, one of the Glocks that he has, and then he has a CZ 9mm that he uses that, he's like, I compete with this thing. It's a beautiful gun. And he let me, shoot those. And so it was good. And we worked through a whole bunch of stuff, and he wanted to test out the zero on his Beretta, and stuff. So we fired off a couple boxes of ammo. I worked through stuff with my gun. We even made some adjustments on my grip, because obviously it's going to be different than my duty gun. A full size 40, Glock 22 that I shoot at work. It's going to be a different grip when you've got a Glock 43 it's a micro pistol. So so it's cool to actually like talk to somebody and not just try to learn on YouTube and work through that stuff. So
yeah, for sure.
We got a
You
red
know,
dot
that's
class coming up in Okeechobee next month if you want, Justin.
I saw that on the website. I was actually looking at that on the website. I was like, you
Let me
know.
know if you're
So,
interested.
yeah. I don't remember the date, but I remember I when I was scanning through there, because I looked at all the classes on the website, and I was like, all right, some great looking classes, you know. So yeah, no,
And I will say
I
I've been to their red dot class, and it is impressive. It is a good
cool.
class, I
Good.
will say.
All right.
To
Cool,
that.
cool, cool. So yeah, so you know, like I said, I'm learning because my department's going to red dots next year in block training, and like I said, I will not be there. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty much just, you know, looking
yeah,
on into the sunset on what I'm
yeah.
doing there.
We
We're
yeah
getting all
we
kinds of new gear, and I'm
yeah
skipping
we
over all of it.
that sucks. We
Yeah.
well, not really, you're retiring, but we just transitioned in spring to red dot. So like talking about like learning people's personalities, I was in charge of doing the whole department, like get everybody over. So I think I did 22 days of instruction where I went from, so we're a sheriff's office. So we have patrol, jail, support services, investigations. I mean, we've got it all. So
Wow.
I was, one day I'm training the SWAT team because I'm gonna get them their optics. So I've got the SWAT guys. The next day I'm training our courthouse security individuals that are all retired law enforcement, right? So retired
Yeah.
up there, no offense, up there in the age, right? They're coming back to
Yeah.
work part time. I mean, I went from training, our SWAT guys to training our evidence tech, who is done 51 years in law enforcement, and he is 72 years old, working
Oh my.
part time evidence still.
And
So
he's gonna use a red dot.
he's using it right. He called 100. He called 100.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey.
So
Hey.
all the way from, I mean, that personality span there is massive.
Yeah.
You can't teach all of them the same way. It's just not going to happen. You have to be
Yeah.
able to turn things on, turn things off for certain people. Females is a big one too. Learning to work with them and their grip because their hands are generally smaller, right? So yeah, it's all about personality, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And communication.
I think Battle of the Badge is another big thing when it comes to the training side of the house. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, like shooting with a red dot, you get a little proficient with it. Like, oh, this just got a lot easier.
Yeah.
And like, okay, maybe I should have trained with this more prior to this or something. Doing battle, like we're doing stages with like breaching, with shields, in and around cars, trying to make them law enforcement centric kind of stages. If nothing else, it's an eye opener to like, oh, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. And it kind of reinforces the fact that we do need to train and we need to continually train on stuff. Oh yeah, I picked up a shield early on in my career, and then I became the senior guy, so I passed the shield off to the young buck because I don't want to carry it around. And now I got to shoot with it again on a shot timer for score in front of everyone else and all my buddies. Oh, I'm not as I do need to get reps on a lot of these basic things again.
And to the shield point, what was the most shocking to me is the amount of cops that come out to compete that have an issued shield in their trunk, and at Battle of the Badges the first time they've ever shot with a shield.
Oh my God.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
How are you're issued a shield and you've never shot? Nope, never shot one this first time. I'm definitely going to go back home and do it a lot more.
Wow.
Huge eye opener.
I was a school resource officer for 6.5 years, and our sergeant at the time got us these ones. I mean, it went on our forearm. It was like like the plexiglass. It was like a plexiglass thing that had like a flashlight in it and everything. And you had to put it on your forehead, like when you walked through the hall, because obviously if it got shot, you're gonna punch yourself in the face and stuff. But I mean, there was technique to it because we had to do, reloads, we had to do, cocking and everything like that, like on the shield. So there was practice to it. And, and we went through some realistic type scenarios where we were walking, like shoot house halls that we build inside of our range. And, it was important. It was obviously it sat in our car, and we would have had to run out to our car to get this. It was light versus what these guys all have now. These guys all have that, the Keystone style shields in their cars. And it's like, bro, these guys, because like when I was even when I was in the high school, I was like, I'm not running out to my car to get this stuff away from the problem to then come back in. Like I'm just going. So nowadays in all of our schools, we have a full giant safe that has the shield, the rifle, all that stuff is bolted into the ground. It's all in the SRO's office, like the one behind your head. Just
Nice.
less stickers. So, but yeah, they have a full blown, the school board was very apprehensive about doing it, but it was one of those things where it was like, look, I mean, we're Broward County and we're looking at one of the worst school shootings in history at Stoneman Douglas. So it's like, you guys have to let our SROs have their rifles inside the schools, closer by than their car.
For sure.
But yeah, it's so that kind of goes with one of my questions about like designing the stages or the challenges. Like, how do you decide like how realistic they are, and like what inspires you to design some of the stages, or are they the same every year, or do they change?
So every event is different. So every event had like the stages. I will never recycle a stage. So every stage that people come out to, it'll be a brand new stage. Now there'll be things incorporated that are repeats, like a breaching door, a shield, certain things like that. But at the end of the day, first things first, it's a shooting competition. So basically what I try to do is I design the stages as a shooting competition, and then try to weave in like different law enforcement ideas. One thing for me and where I'm from, we are a trailer park friendly county. So sometimes I'll try to design some of the stages where walls they go through. I'll try to make hallways that maybe are a little bit tighter to resemble something of that nature, or where they have to back up out of a position or something and have good muscle discipline, because a lot of times you're with your buddies, right? So we don't want to flag our buddies. So I try to incorporate certain aspects of law enforcement. Vehicles are huge in and around vehicles. I mean, we spend majority of our time inside of our vehicle. So certain stages where they are starting in their vehicle, they have to get out of their vehicle, or maybe they're in their vehicle and they have to shoot from inside the vehicle, or advancing on a vehicle, shooting into the vehicle, shooting, through the windshield as they advance onto it, or into passenger windows kind of thing. So at the first things first, it's a shooting competition, and it's just weaving in things that we see on a daily basis into the stage plan.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I mean, the use of cars and understanding, like unholstering, because it's like, a lot of times we don't do that in our own police cars and stuff. So when you're actually unholstering and having to draw around your steering wheel and everything like that, it's a big thing to be able to train like that and have a better understanding. You can sit there and watch videos all day of guys doing it, but until you actually go through it, it's not. So let me drop another commercial, and then I want to talk about some logistical, some risk management challenges, anything like that might come up. Rob's already laughing. Yo, what's up, everybody? Want to let you know I have a new website format. Same website, donutshoppodcast.com, but this time I'm running it through Shopify. Make it much easier to purchase items, because aside from the hats that I have up there, Donut Shop Podcast, PVC hats, the blue line snapback, laser mesh, nice and clean on the inside, comfy hats. I have some other swag, t-shirts, can koozies, just some other stuff that I put up there. I'm running the website through Shopify, and so it'll make it real easy for you guys to go on and purchase some stuff and support the show. So thanks for tuning in and following the show. And don't forget, donutshoppodcast.com. Thanks. What's in the cup? Guys, what's in my cup? Blackout Coffee Company. We joined up with them. I've been drinking it and I enjoy it, and I think you may enjoy it as well. So you can go over to our website and click the link, or you can just go to their website, blackoutcoffee.com, and use our coupon code to get 10% off. The code is DSP10. So go over, check it out. All right, so you guys are already laughing about it. So there's obviously some story, some story to it. So like, what's the biggest logistical or risk management challenges in running an event where officers are shooting under time, pressure, simulated stress, that kind of stuff?
So if you don't mind, Preston, I'll jump in on that one.
Yeah,
The risk management side of the house is that one is the hardest, the thing that's always on my mind. Safety. We're always concerned about safety. Plays into stage design and making sure that we're setting up stages to not do a 180 trap where like it's set up so someone's going to break a safety rule if they're not thinking about it. Stage design goes into that, but then also our ROs, the volunteer staff, the people that we bring out all around the country now to help us with these events. They're all either experienced shooters on the competition side or they're law enforcement trainers working with Preston down in Christiansburg. It's just something that it's just constant that we're always watching for, always being mindful of. We run a cold range, which again is makes things a little easier. So always making sure guns are unloaded the whole time until they're up on the line and getting ready to go. Slowing folks down a little bit sometimes too helps, like especially with the newer shooters. It's always one of the advice that a lot of people give them is like, hey, don't go sprinting down the line here. You're not going to shoot well. Slow down a little bit. But sign the waiver, watch out for each other, be safe. Logistically, these events are interesting at best. Bringing stuff out on the road. Back when Preston was doing it at his shooting club locally there, it was easy because they had all of this stuff and they were used to doing these shooting competitions. Then we came in and said, yeah, let's bring this shooting competition on the road. How hard could it be? And then a few weeks and horrible hours later, the training coordinator that works for me with Team One, Travis Crago, who shot for the Marine Corps shooting team before he got out of the military. So he has a background in competitive shooting. Him and I, and then we brought Preston down here because we got tired of doing it just ourselves, gluing PVC wall pipes together for days on end and building target stands. So again, we do the same thing at Team One anytime we're doing our classes. I like to be self-sufficient. We bring our own stuff to these events. We're going out to different departments, ranges and stuff that have a lot of the target stands and walls and like steel targets and stuff like that. But we can never rely on that stuff. We have to bring our own. Again, I'm newer to this competitive shooting world. The very first event we did in Pennsylvania, I don't think any amount of logistics would have fixed it. But it rained from about the start of safety brief, and I think it stopped raining about 2 minutes before we did awards, if we were lucky.
Yeah, and it rained. Like it was.
I'm listening to it pour right now at home. I'm like, oh, it's raining.
Yeah, that's how it was the whole time.
Yeah,
6+ inches of mud on some stages. The trash bags, like, hey, we had about 72 targets, I think was the count for that event. And like, hey, how many trash bags would you need in case it rains? Oh, a few hundred that's plenty. Wasn't enough. The amount of pasties that you need to run an event like this, just thinking through that stuff, working through it. There's another unsung hero that she doesn't like a lot of FaceTime on the cameras or publicly, but Katie, our director of operations at Team One, she's the one behind the scenes. You were talking earlier about keeping things on the rails and thinking through things and making sure lunch is scheduled and ordered and the ROs get taken care of and we all have an Airbnb to stay at and dealing with all the funds and the accounts and the different stuff that we have to deal with. She's the one that really makes everything happen behind the scenes. When we come out for an event, we have a 36-foot fifth wheel trailer and a 16-foot enclosed V-nose trailer. And we load everything up to include the side-by-side and the e-bikes and everything to help us run around the event. And so far, we've made it happen pretty smoothly, pretty well. The Pennsylvania was our first one on the road and the first event with Team One kind of running it or being involved. And it went okay, but with a lot of learning curves. The Virginia event was super easy just because it was Preston's home range. The sheriff, we were talking about a little bit before, the sheriff there is awesome and bent over backwards to help us out and make sure you guys pretty much redid the range completely just for us to come out there and paint buildings
Yeah, Mike's in charge of our range. He did an amazing
Zip
job.
Tie King.
Yeah.
He did fantastic for it. The Texas event was a very different range venue than what we've done. A lot more like the West Palm down there in Florida and the Florida style ranges, where it's just a big long line of ranges going into a singular berm, which made
Right.
life
Yeah.
easier, a little different. But again, Preston was talking earlier, like stage design and how does he come up with some of this stuff. Doing it at different venues for every event also kind of forces our hand to make things unique. The breaching door stages, the shield stages. We did a shotgun stage in the first event in Pennsylvania where we used Benelli's shotgun for a stage gun that everyone shot. A couple of shotguns we brought out for it, but then again, you got to think of ammo to bring out for it. How do we all of that kind of stuff? And then so it's kind of who wants to support us, industry partnership wise, who's willing to help us out to set up a stage. We're trying to do like a taser stage, for the Florida event. I'm going to say it, sort of let the cat out of the bag a little bit on a couple of the specialty stages.
Yeah.
We're going to do another shoot house stage like we did in Texas, which was very well received. A lot of cops don't ever get to be inside of their live fire shoot house, let alone shoot live ammo, let alone kind of run and gun, if you will, through a house, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then from Florida, you guys know down there, the Rogers range. We're going to have a Rogers range set up. So resetting moving steel targetry, which will be another kind of unique, interesting stage that most folks don't get to do.
Very cool. So like, what's the beginning of it? So like, all right, so I want to compete at the West Palm one. Like, what am I signing up for? What's the like criteria? Law enforcement, active duty.
So
active or retired.
Oh, hey, so I still qualify.
Yeah. So like start.
But this is in November. I'll still be, or no, yeah, it's in November, so I'll be.
Start to end. You go on to our website, www.the-battleofthebadges.com. You head. Yeah, that's perfect. You head over to the event where you go to sign up. It takes you to a practice score where you register there. You show up that day to the event. Check-in usually is runs 7 to 7:30, 7:45, somewhere in there. You come, you check in. At check-in, you show your credentials to prove that you're active law enforcement or retired. You get a free t-shirt. We highly encourage people to go and purchase some merchandise, like some stickers. We have cigars with our logo wrapped on them, stuff like that, and raffle tickets because we do a raffle at the end. So please, helps fund the next one. So please, go check that stuff out. I usually run a safety brief about 7:45. Where I'll get up, I'll thank everybody for coming, go over logistics of the day. Rob or my dad usually do go into like the safety side of it. I usually try not to get into that stuff. Me personally, I kind of let the match director of that event handle that side. We take a group photo and then you get sent out to your stage. So again, if you're in squad 1, you go to stage 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 5 to 5, 6 to 6. You'll shoot your stage. You'll rotate to the next one. Once you've shot all 3 stages, it usually ends somewhere, those first 3, around 11:30ish. Whether we're doing mission barbecue or food trucks are coming out, usually get an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes depending on how well we're doing on time, to get your food, eat, sit down, meet all the other cops that are out, talk about what gear they're running, what's cool at their department, what's maybe not cool at their department.
Usually more of the latter.
Usually, it's more just a big complaint fest, it feels like sometimes. So once you get done complaining over your lunch, while you're eating your lunch, you get sent out to shoot your second 3. So you'll go out, you'll shoot your second 3 stages, so 6 total. Once you get done, and I get all of our tablets back that the scores are kept on, we go through, me and Travis, we go through, get them all combined onto one tablet where I get the scores for each division. So there's 2 divisions, iron sights. So if you're your duty gun is iron sights, you shoot in the iron sights division. If your duty gun has a red dot on it, you shoot in the optics division. And if you're in the retired division, you just shoot in the retired division. So at that point, I do awards, give away the trophies, and Blackhawk is our title sponsor. So huge shout out to them.
Cool.
Give gift certificate from them as well to the top 3 shooters in each division. And then after that, everybody gathers around. If they bought a cigar, they get to smoke their cigar while I do some raffles, hand out some pretty sweet stuff. We raffle off some really good gear and guns as well. Then after the raffle's over, you get to go home and hopefully tell all your buddies about how much fun you had and how they need to go next time it comes into town.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Rob.
It's definitely something to be like, for the first time shooter never showing up to something like this. Bring water, bring some snacks throughout the day. So at Battle of the Badges, we require shooters to wear what you wear on duty. So
Yes.
Duty belt, not some fancy 2-gun high-speed shooter belt. Duty pistol or similar. We've ran into a few things where like guys can't bring their gun out of state because it's a department gun.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
we kind of good dude rules. We put eyes on the guns and make sure guys aren't running out some crazy tricked out staccatos or something that aren't necessarily a duty. And there are folks who have staccatos on duty.
Right.
But then also guys are wearing body armor of some sort. I mean, every department in the country anymore requires something, whether that's just soft armor or wearing your plate carrier, whatever it is. Eye protection, ear protection. You got to bring your own hat. You got to bring your own stuff. We do have extras laying around. We can always help a guy out if you don't have that coming with you. And then ammo. What's the rough ammo count, Preston?
Recommend about 150 rounds. Each stage you shoot about anywhere between 18 to 22 rounds is usually what I go for.
So yeah, so like 3 boxes if you want, 4 boxes for good measure. Pretty much just in a duffel bag with some of your extra gear in a backpack, and you should be good. So yeah, it's not, and so I appreciate you guys laying that out, because that's one of those things that guys could be nervous about. You know, they like me, watch the YouTube videos. They've got these thigh rigs, these drop holsters, all excited, and it's like, no, bro, it's the same thing you go to work on Monday, or the same thing you go to work on Friday with. Like, you're gonna go there. You may just wear a different t-shirt because you don't want to get your work shirt like dirty and sweaty, or rip it on a nail in a house or something like that. But for the most part, yeah, you're wearing that gear. Most of us, especially in Florida, are rocking external vests now, so you can put a long sleeve sun shirt on underneath, you know, and then just put your vest on and go to town and go to work.
Show up what you wear. Show up what you wear to work. Bring 150 rounds of ammo and eye and ear protection. You're good to go.
And I mean, it's the same. Telling someone it's the same thing. Hey, we're doing rifle or pistol qual today. Bring the same stuff you'd be bringing out to your department range to go do qualifications.
And a
good attitude. That's the other big important piece of gear, is have a good attitude about it.
Good.
And some extra pocket change for the raffles and buying stickers. So, definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's cool, and it makes it so that it's, you know, there's not for a police officer, there's not a barrier to entry for it. You know, it's like you said, it's something that you're already doing. It's something that you've done at least once a year for your whole career. You know, showing up for this, you're just doing it extracurricular, and you're meeting other officers, and you're learning from other people that might show you a little bit different way than what your training officers did and stuff. So, you know, it's a cool thing.
Now, in the future, something that we're going to try and start adding in, hopefully we can get it up and running next year. If not, definitely the year after, is doing a training day prior for a lot of guys, where we have the stages set up. Friday morning, everyone can show up, and we start doing classes. So again, shields. So it's not the first time you've picked up a shield and shot a gun holding a shield at the same time. Hey, here's a 2-hour kind of hip pocket in the field sort of class. This is how you do it. Here's a few reps. with that, it's going to be a chance for guys to shoot stages early as well, because that's what we'll use for the training. But also hopefully get some more department buy off and like support from departments, getting guys sent out to these events that, hey, they're going to walk away with a fun day, some camaraderie, a good time, few hundred less rounds than they showed up with, but also some legitimate training behind it as well. That does apply to that patrol officer, to that street officer out there.
Yeah, it makes sense. Or like me, the red dot. You go through a red dot refresher or a red dot explanation course, to practice with it or get ready for it. Pretty cool. Do you see a benefit to this competition with officer wellness, morale, even retention with officers, like beyond just marksmanship?
Yeah. So for me, and like officer wellness is pretty big. I know the third one, I brought out a mental health, like a lady that does like law enforcement mental health kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
I gave her a couple minutes to speak. And one of the coolest things about it, actually, out of all the ones I've done, was it was a dude that I've never met before, found me on Facebook, reached out. I was like, hey, do you have her contact info? It was like 2 weeks after. Do you have her contact info? Like, I need to go see somebody. So like the wellness part, the being around all your buddies, being able to be a cop somewhere else beside your department. Like it's a place cops can just go and be cops, have a good time, do some shit talking, because it's probably top 3 things we're good at. Do some of that, and
there's not alcohol mixed into it. We do it sometimes with alcohol, and it becomes less on the wellness side. Whereas this sounds a little more healthy.
Definitely no alcohol. Like when the event's over.
Have a good time.
Over, have a celebratory drink. I'm cool with that. I have no issues with that whatsoever. But
just like you said, it's a cold range and a dry range.
That's right. And I think just getting out there and talking to guys and gals and law enforcement, and just getting to know people that's just outside your little bubble of your shift or your fellow investigators that you work with, is super, super beneficial. And two, this is it for me. Like we all need something outside of law enforcement. And competitive shooting and just shooting in general is like my thing. Like I can go out and, let's say I'm working on target transitions this time, or whatever the case may be, whatever it is, like that is on my mind. That's what I get to go do. And that's the only thing I'm doing for the next hour and a half. So maybe it sparks some interest in these guys and gals. Truthfully, the goal, it sparks some interest in these guys and gals to, wow, this competitive shooting thing is a great training value and it's a whole lot of fun. I'm going to get on this website, Practice Score, and search all the local ranges in my area and see how often they do one. And it might surprise them that 30 minutes away every month, they do a local match. And now they're hooked. And now they got, a hobby that they can go out and do that also better prepares them to get back home at the end of their shift.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. I've talked about it in many of my shows. I'm a serial hobbyist, which is why, like I said, like maybe I'll get into shooting, in my retirement, but like over my shoulder, the Star Wars helmet, like I've built movie quality Star Wars costumes for years, and go out and you do charity events or events at children's hospitals or comic conventions, all that kind of stuff. But then you meet different people, different walks of life. You learn about them. I mean, I'm a social bug, so I just need that to keep me and keep my mental health good. And then for a lot of things, like, there's guys that are damn near criminals that are in that Star Wars group. Not really, but they're just degenerates. And then there's a few cops. So, but you're just different walks of life, because you can't always just hang out with cops. So, and the same thing in shooting sports, you're not just going to meet cops doing it. And as you said, there's barely cops doing it anyways. So you're going to meet other people, patriotic people, usually, people that are into the Second Amendment or veterans, that just kind of want to keep their skills going up, which is kind of like what I want to do when I'm retired, keep my skills on par, because I'm 43, so I got a long life to live,
Yeah.
and this gun's still going to be with me the whole time, even in retirement.
And as a cop, like, if you go to a shooting event that is like a public one, like a local club does one once a month, and you walk up and you tell people, "Hey, I'm a police officer. This is my first time. I have no idea what I'm doing. Will you help me get through this?" Anybody around that hears that, they are going to take you under your wing and show
Oh
you
yeah.
everything that they can. Here's my phone number. You want to hit the range? Like, when I've first like got into law enforcement, I had guys that were like, "Come out with me anytime you want to. I'll provide you ammo. Like, just come
Yeah.
out. I want to teach you some stuff." Like, they will welcome you so much to just come out and get better.
But to be able to say that as a police officer and as a law enforcement officer, that is a big stepping stone that probably goes with mental health, is the humbleness of being able to put your defenses down and just say, "Hey, this is my first time. I don't totally know what I'm doing here. I'm going to need somebody to kind of help me out." Like you said, we've got a lot of pride usually, and I do this every year on the range, and I score 40 out of 40.
Yeah.
I'm good. I got the ribbon on my
Yeah.
class A.
Yeah.
You
I have the
know,
red T-shirt. Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah,
I know.
or I'm
Yeah. Yeah. I know what I'm doing, and
yeah.
it takes swallowing that pride
Mhm.
to go out there and say that, and that's really the biggest thing to overcome. Just have a little bit of humility about yourself. Go out there and realize that, you know what, these guys that are 50, 55, been doing for 20 years, they are better than me. And the worst thing is cops think that everybody else in the world looks at them as like the best shooters on the planet. And what most cops
Mm.
should probably know, most people don't actually think that at all. So
Oh yeah.
realize that people don't think that you guys are actually, me included, the best shooters on the planet. So they already know that you're probably not going to be too great at this, and they're
Mhm.
going to welcome you with open arms, because what person besides, some people on this planet, but most people, I would say, want our law enforcement to be as good as they can be. So why
Yeah.
would they not bring you on your wing? Like, especially if this cop works in the town or city or county that they're living, like, you could respond to my house. So I'm going to do everything I can while I'm here to help you get better.
Yeah, to be the most proficient, most confident with your firearm, when you pull that trigger. So looking ahead 5 to 10 years, where do you guys, see this partnership? Where do you guys see this competition going?
I'll let you go
Um,
first, Preston.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, perfect. Um,
Perfect.
yeah, perfect. Perfect. Bingo. I would say 5 to 10 years down the road, like, realistically, we're doing 4 events this year. We've done 3. We got Florida's our last one. We're doing 4 next year. Um, Realistically, if we hit that 5 to 10 year mark, and we're doing good, um, going into that 5 or 10 year mark, I think it would be super, super sweet. And I've had a lot of people tell me that they think this would also be cool, is if we were to hit like 6, 7, 8 events a year, to then bring the top 10 shooters at each event to do like a so-called like national championship.
National championship.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like top 10. So like, for example, this year, PA, Virginia, Texas, Florida, you take the top 10 from each of those events. That's 40 shooters, bring them to one, hopefully, central location of those 4 states, and run a national championship. I think that would be absolutely awesome. So that's,
Yeah.
Rob.
Rob?
Yeah,
I think
no,
you
and
already I think you already shared part of it earlier. I was going to bring it up, but
Yeah,
I'll let you
in the training days prior, I think that would be super, super sweet. And I love teaching people
Yeah.
like firearm stuff. So I would love to have a 2-hour like performance pistol. This is how you game the game. Like, if I was to shoot this stage, this is how I would game it to get a faster raw time than others. I think that's a
Mhm.
great idea and would be so
Technique.
much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
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 Yeah, and I
Wow.
think the future of Battle of the Badges is like what we're doing now is fantastic. And I think good controlled growth is going to be important in this, because it's like we were talking about earlier, it is a logistical lift to do these events like we're doing them. Our whole goal has been, we want the small local match feel and like brotherhood and hanging out and good time and like, okay, my RO said it broke the perf. I didn't think it is. Whatever. I'm here for a good time and for some training value. Trying to keep that with still that national high quality match customer service. And I want to make sure that we maintain that throughout the life. But also we'll see where it goes. We got a lot of people interested in supporting it on the manufacturer side. We got a lot of companies that more and more people are getting eyes on it now than ever have before, throughout this year, which is nothing but good. We definitely have nowhere but up to go from here. We have to get Preston to stop his little day job at that police department so he can do this.
They always get in the way, bro. They always get in the way. We've talked about this with podcasting. It's like, man, when the podcasting stuff is just, to the point where the day job is in the way, it's time to let it go. But yeah. It's also scary to walk away from that guaranteed, government money, government cheddar.
I think again, more events slowly but surely. And the big thing is trying to spread the events out. So going into the 2026 year, right now we're still tentative on dates for most of them, but we'll be in Palm Bay, Florida.
Oh, good. They have a nice range. Yeah.
Yeah. They have a fantastic facility. We'll be in Christiansburg, Virginia again at the Sheriff's Department range there. Another fantastic facility. We're looking at pretty sure that we'll be going up to Ohio as well. So sort of not quite northeast, but north up there. And then the big reveal will be Southern California.
Oh man, that's a trip.
Logistic lift. Point Blank Body Armor Company. Yeah. They have been fantastic supporters throughout this year. And they're the ones that say, hey, Southern California cops don't have these sort of things to support them. Would you guys be willing and interested to come out there? So yeah, hopefully, I'm not sure how long until this actually gets aired and released out to the public, but I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks. Okay, that's by about the time this comes out, we should have dates set for 2026. And again, trying to touch the corners.
Yeah, got you guys on the 21st, so 3 weeks actually, 2.5 weeks, whatever. Yeah, that's cool. I know. I know a law enforcement coffee company out there in California. They'd probably love to come and hang out and serve coffee or do whatever in Southern California area. So yeah, I'll once that information's ready, I'll shoot it out to a few people out there and say, hey, you guys need to get on board with this and do that kind of stuff. So that'd be cool. And keep doing what you're, keep getting better at it so that the logistics become even easier.
Smoother every time.
Smoother every time. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Perfect. All right. So final question, but two times, because one for each of you. I'll start with Preston. Do you have anything that you kind of carry with you through your career that's like a habit or something that you've always done, throughout your career that maybe you picked up in the academy or beforehand? Doesn't have to be shooting related. Could just be, how you turn your headlights on in your police car. I don't know, stuff like that. Like anything habit wise.
Wow. That's an interesting question.
Feel free to chime in, Robert, if you've got one of those from the military days, if you want to interrupt him.
Habit thing, more of a habit mindset for me. I got a decent answer on that one. Was I had a sergeant major yell at us when we got back from Afghanistan, and it is stuck since, is don't live on your laurels. Your yesterday's accomplished don't really mean anything. And with that, have the mindset in everything you do to better prepare for the next fight, for tomorrow. Because yesterday's fight doesn't matter anymore. It's over. Focus on tomorrow's, the next thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I do two? One that's funny, one that's kind of serious.
All you want. It's your show, bro. Like, go with it.
All right. First one, we'll start funny. I don't think I'm a lazy person, but that little area in your police car, the passenger side floorboard,
Oh,
is a beautiful trash can. I mean,
oh
it
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it is beautiful, and that sucker gets emptied when it's about level with the front seat.
I've
Since
had that happen before.
Yep, since I've started, that is about where it goes. It's a natural air freshener for the vehicle
Yeah,
as well.
funky.
So that's a habit that I actually stopped at Sheets to get gas. I was like I was like, it's about time. But I left it for the night. So tomorrow night, maybe when I go to work, I'll have it emptied. I don't know yet.
I'm sure
Um,
Sheets loves that you fill up their trash can when you go to get
yeah,
gas.
and then
Like
even when it's full at Sheets, I still just pile it on top. Right.
it's
So
now it's the yeah now it's a
yeah,
Jenga game to try and get
yeah.
it. Yeah,
The other one that I have that I don't know, some people might disagree with, but I've always had a guy I went to the academy with tell me this, and it stuck with me actually. Whether you agree or disagree with the person above you, whoever it might be, your sergeant, lieutenant, captain, whoever it is, if they tell you something, it's head down, yes sir, and you go do it, as long as obviously it's like morally correct, not against the
yeah,
law, right? If they tell you something, yes sir, you go do it. If you have a problem with it, you let it digest, and you come back and you talk to him in private. But initially, and I think that, I mean, I see it now currently, not with any of the people that, any of the deputies on my shift, just when I look around, other departments, just other areas in the job, there's too much, like, they are your chain of command. Like you gotta listen to them. So
yeah.
yes sir, head down. And whether you agree or disagree at the time, that's not for you to decide. Yes sir, head down, go get it done. And then if you have a problem, you complain up the chain of command. You don't complain to the side.
Yeah, it's because then all we do is we fester and we start to sound like
Yeah,
we start to smell like your passenger seat floorboard
yeah, that's
when
right.
we
That's right.
complain sideways.
That's right.
Yeah, we
Don't
just had
complain
a
side, and definitely don't complain down. Complaining
yeah,
down is not it.
yeah, it ruins it because I remember my old sergeant, one of my old sergeants used to complain down, and it really like emboldened me or soured me, and it
Yeah,
caused me to disrespect or want to disrespect up, and it made
yeah.
it worse.
And there's a lack of trust, I'm sure, between.
Yeah,
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 there's a
yeah,
lack
yeah.
of trust that gets formed, and it's not good. It's
And
not good. It's
to your
toxic.
second point, we just had a sergeant come back to the road that was up in HR kind of hiring. He was one of the hiring sergeants for a long time,
Mhm.
but I worked with him on the road back when I used to be on the road before, and so he's back on the road and he's coming to the senior guy squad. The guys that are twilight of their career, or I mean, pat on the back. We know what we're doing. We know how
Yeah,
to handle a call. We know how
yeah,
to code out a call. We know who's going to call back. We know how to handle a complaint before it even goes to a sergeant, all that stuff. But he challenges us a lot more now, where we may have gone to this one call and just been like, hey, all right, cool, let's get you home or whatever. But then he kind of encourages us to dig a little deeper, do a little more investigation. And like one of those, it was like we ended up arresting this kid for freaking aggravated stalking. And it was like, man, we were about to send this girl home. We would have just sent her home and said, hey, you're safe now, you're fine. But then when we found this kid and we found out who he was and we looked at his rap sheet and everything, and then kind of coupled it with what he was doing, it's like, oh, wait a minute, we've got aggravated stalking, dude. Like we were about to brush this under the rug. So it's
yeah,
like that fresh supervisor kind of has reinvigorated us, or at least sort of keeps us on the better. And side by side, we might be, some of the guys might bitch and complain, but then we go, hey man, like I respect what he's doing, because
for sure.
he's challenging us, and he's making us continue to think. And so I don't get mad at
Yeah,
him for any of the silly little stuff that he
yeah.
may make us do over the radio, or be like, no, keep going to that 911 hang up. Like, I know you called the person
Oh,
on the phone and they said they said they're good. They said it was a butt dial. Go see them face to
yeah,
face. And I'm like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
you're right, bro. Cause
yeah.
just God forbid that time that
The
they
one out
actually
of
were,
100.
they had a gun to their head and they're just like, no, sir, I'm fine. Like,
Yeah.
so, and I appreciate it and I respect that. And I tell them, but I did go up to him after and I go, hey dude, what's the deal with the 911 hang up thing? Like, we just call on the phone now. And cause like when he was on the road, it was when it was, wall phones. And it's like you had to overtly go to the phone, pick it up, dial 911. Now your phone just dials 911 just because you said the word. And, Siri hears it and it's like, oh, you want me to call? Or your phone falls off the couch and it thinks you got in a crash or something like that. So I'm like,
the 911 thing, I was at a shooting competition one time where my wrist, I was wearing an Apple Watch.
Oh yeah.
Just what I was doing in that competition, it had held the button, so it had dialed 911 on my watch, and the call was like 2 minutes by the time I got done with what I was doing, and all the 911 call I heard was gunshots.
Oh yeah, gunshots.
And
it's like a shot spotter.
And like doing other stuff, and like I got back to my phone. I called back. I was like, hey, I actually called 911. This is what I'm doing. Like, everything's okay. She was like,
yeah,
sounds good. We got 2 guys. They'll meet you out front. I was like, okay.
2 guys.
Yeah, 2 guys.
I'm surprised they didn't send a whole SWAT team.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it sounds good. I'll be there to talk to them. like right
yeah.
that. So
wow. Yeah, no, I do. I get it all the time because like where I wear my Apple Watch, the crown's near my wrist because I wear it on my right arm. And so like if I'm doing push-ups in the gym or I'm doing stuff in the gym, it's constantly, I feel that vibration. I'm like, oh God, please don't call 911 in the gym with the music blaring and all that stuff. So yeah, for sure. So, all right, guys. Well, I mean, this was great. You guys have anything you want to add? Did I not touch on anything or,
the only thing that I'll just throw out real quick is,
of course,
our social media 3 days before the Texas event got nuked by, by
Meta
powers to be for whatever reason. So we're still like 28 days in jail or something. We have another 155 till they decide what happens or whatever the case may be. But right now, officially, we are back on social media. Instagram is BOTB_2025.
I'll share it in the description below.
Yeah, that would be perfect to hop on there, give us a follow, and hopefully get us back to where we were. Social media's love-hate relationship because it's got Battle of the Badges where it's at. But at the same time, it's so many hoops and so many censorships and so many stuff to get through.
So is that was like a backup account because your original account is still in jail?
So if we would have thought about it, we probably would have threw up a backup account before this one got put in jail. We did not, which I wish we did. So right now, this one is, I guess, like serving as backup, but I have a feeling that the other one's just gone. So like it's primary, and miraculously, if the other one comes back, cool, we can make this one back up or make the other one back up, whatever the case may be. But right now, BOTB_2025 is where you can find us on Instagram. We post all of the videos, all the recaps, all the stages, everything on there. So.
Cool. Yeah. And I'll, cause I'll cut reels out of this conversation and stuff like that. So we can collaborate and use it for content and stuff in between. So, all right, cool. Rob, anything did I miss?
Mean, anyone interested in some training, team1network.com, look us up. More than welcome to reach out to us. We come to you with training. And also again, please check out Battle of the Badges. Hopefully, if one's not coming to an area near you going into 2026, let us know. We're always looking for new places to host the event and stuff, and new people wanting to get involved in, involved with the competition and spreading the good word of shooting guns.
Awesome. All right. Well, very good. Stick around. It'll play the outro, and then we got to do some uploading. So thanks again, and we'll check everybody else out on the next episode.
Calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.